Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I am back to pull a few cards and just give you the lowdown on what's going on around here. In 2 days I will be going and signing all my material and stuff for German citizenship. I'm really happy, excited about that, but I'm also a little bit nervous too. It's always that way when I have like an interview type of thing, that kind of energy is going on, and you're kind of just going, you know. Um, as for what I've been doing lately, I've just been working on this quilt. I'm doing a cat quilt for our bed, and it's kitties. I found this thing at a creative fair last year, and I thought it was really pretty, and so I decided to make a quilt out of it. And then I'm using the cat mugshot pictures to at the top and the bottom. I'm trying to decide if I need to do something else with this. I'm kind of working from the middle out, and so I'm going to be putting some other stuff on here to to see how I want to do it. So I'll keep you posted on how that's shaping up, but it's looking really good, and I'm really excited about it. Um, the other new bit of news is yesterday I posted a video to the channel. And I wanted to mention something about that because it is a kind of a strange thing that happened. And what it is that during the video, I think my guide just actually spoke, which was like the first time I had actually heard a verbal speaking of the spirits, of the spirit world, or anything like that. So, on the video, if you listen to the video, if you listen to the playback of the video, it's around the 22nd minute and 20 seconds into the video. So it's when I was just changing the decks. I was using the Gilded Tarot, and then I switched to the Teddy Tarot. So it was around that time, at that point, that they got a little verbose. And it really kind of surprised me because I didn't anticipate that that was going to happen, but yet that's what happened. So I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. Kind of freaky though too, because it was like I had never experienced that before, where my guides actually said something, and it's like you don't expect to hear anything, and then suddenly you're listening to the playback of a video, and it's like there they are. So that was what happened. So so yeah, I wanted to mention that, and I just thought it was really cool. So if you want to watch that video, you can check that particular slot in the video to see how they sound or whatever. So yesterday I did a reading on the Big Fat Orange Problem and his missus. And the thing that kind of strikes me about all of this is that he is, I get the feeling that he is very, very sick. And I get the feeling that he is, I don't want to say really, I think he's got something. When I did the video on the transition, the one thing that I noticed was that I kept getting this feeling that there was something medically wrong with him, and I think he senses it too, that there is something medically, not working or not right with him. But the problem is that he's so old that he does not know how to change his habits or his way of living, to kind of contend with the diagnosis or the prognosis that the doctors have given to him. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. My brother-in-law's a doctor. But the thing is, he is sitting there in the White House, not telling people what's wrong with him, and leaving the entire world to assume that something's wrong or something's not right. Now, they're talking about transparency and being the most transparent administration. Well, I would be the first person in the world here to call out bullshit. Okay? Sorry for my language word choice, but that's what it is. He is saying that he is the most transparent, yada, yada, yada. But he is keeping this secret. It's just like with the e-files. He is keeping all of these things a secret from the people, leaving us to assume the absolute worst. Okay, so we are sitting there in this kind of limbo, like the hangman card in the tarot, because we do not know what's going to happen. We've got a VP who's going around saying, "Oh, I'm ready to step in if something happens in the worst case scenario." This guy does not give two peas about what's going on with the president of the United States. He does not care. It's obvious. If this guy's like already finding making curtains for the Oval Office, it is clear as mud that the guy is, well, not as clear as mud, as clear as day, that this guy is sick, and that the vice president knows, or he senses that the guy is sick, and he's thinking, I'm going to come in and that kind of thing. So my beef about all of this is the guy is clearly not well. Okay, let's ask the yes and no cards. Is he ill? Did he get a diagnosis in the last 2 weeks or so? Is the President of the United States sick? And if I get a no card, this is like, I'm going to know my guides are like playing with me. But I didn't. Yes. So he is ill. Is he permanently ill? Is he permanently ill? Is the President of the United States terminally ill? And don't play with me on this question, please, universe. Please do not play with me on this question. Is the President of the United States terminally ill? And they said no. So it's not terminal illness. Is it congestive heart failure? And I always thought that that would be a terminal illness, but what do I know? I'm not a doctor, so what do I know? Is it congestive heart failure? Is that why he's got the swollen ankles and the bruised hands? And they said no. So something's not right. He's sick, but they're not saying it's congestive heart failure or terminal illness. What the heck is it if it's not any of those? He's sick. That's clear as day that the man is ill. But what is it that he has? And why the heck won't anybody tell people what is going on? Um, yeah, they said about the yes and no cards that he is not terminally ill, but it looks to me like he is. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but with the bruised hand, um, okay, one last question for the yes and no deck, and then I'm going to pull the tarot. Is he terminally ill? Not terminally ill. Is um will he transition from this illness? Will he transition from this illness? This card just flew out. That's yes. So, I always thought that was the definition of terminal illness. I don't know. I'd have to ask my brother-in-law. He's the doctor, not me. So let's see what the cards have to say with regards to his health. And Denise Knight Divination does daily health readings on him, so she's really the best person to watch when it comes to this. But I'm going to try out and see what I get, because while I know that Denise is absolutely amazing and that I would take her word over my word as far as his health is concerned with the cards and with the proper reading of the cards, but I need practice, so I'm going to practice and I'm going to try and read the cards and see what I get with regards to his health, even though I don't like going into that energy at all. But I think we need to know what's going on. I really do. So guides, please surround me with white light as I do this, and please give me the answers that I need with regards to this. Oh, so please protect me with white light, and please do not don't play around with me. Tell me what the deal is. I'm just going to pull 4 cards because I don't want to stay in this energy too long. What is going on with the president's health? Well, the first card I get is the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords she's a very strong character. She's very independent, and she has a strong sense of right and wrong, which is clearly not him, but it is this idea, this notion of being strong and thinking that by not talking about his health, that he is exhuming these qualities of strength. And then I get the 9 of Pentacles. And I think this is about his prosperity, what he has in his pocket. And it's interesting that both of these are feminine energy cards, because of the way that he treats women. It's just kind of comes into question, but at any rate. And then we have the 3 of Pentacles, which is it looks like he's going, look what I made, look at me, look at me, look at me. But he's disappeared from the public view. So where is he? Where'd he go? And finally, we got the Knight of Swords. So lots of swords energy. And the Knight of Swords is about seeing things as they really are. Somebody who has to see things as they really are. So he's being forced into this position where he has to see things as they really are. And the reality is that he's sick, that he's not well. And he is, you know, he is not doing as well as, you know. Where did he go? Where is he? Why isn't he showing himself? Where is he? Where is the President of the United States right now? Where is he? And I don't mean in the sense of he's in the Oval Office, yada, yada, yada. I mean, where is he here? That he has decided not to show his face anywhere, which to a lot of us is no great loss because we can't stand looking at him anyway. But the reality is that the people need to be able to see the leader of their country. And when he just disappears, then people start to question where he is. Is he in hospital? Is he at his golf course? Is he at McDonald's going through the drive-through in the big beast? I mean, where is he? Where is he? Because he's not visible. People are not seeing him. And they said they saw him yesterday. And I did an earlier video where I asked if he was I asked if he was, if that was him that showed up yesterday in Maryland, I think it or Virginia, at the golf course, and the card I got was yes, that was him, and that he was there. And then I asked if those images of him were taken or made yesterday, or if they were made like a month ago. And I got that wasn't made yesterday, that it wasn't made yesterday, but this is what they are showing people. And the thing is, if that was done a month ago and he looked as bad as if he looked as bad now as he did a month ago, then I'm like, holy macanoli, where is he? I mean, is he pushing up the daisies, or is he in hospital? Is he well? Or as well as can be expected? Yeah, where is he? Why isn't he making any appearances? What is going on with him? This is for entertainment only, and I'm going to ask the tarot. Um, what's going on with him? Why is he not showing himself? And I get the Seven of Cups. This is chaos. This is your big chaos maker. This is he's staying hidden because he knows that what would happen if he comes out, that it would be absolute chaos and pandemonium, because he probably looks so poorly that this is, you know, that this is, what you got. It's crossed with the Five of Swords. His karma is catching up with him. He's got the chaos, and now the karma is catching up with him. And he's kind of having to deal with all of that. The underarching energy is the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is she's about materialistic security, being materially secure, having what she needs, and being successful. And I think what this personifies is this idea that he knows that spiritually he is unwell, and that even though he has all this material wealth, he can't take it with him. And so he is having to contend with the idea that he may have all this, but money cannot buy health, and money cannot buy physical stamina or security in that regard. You cannot buy off a physical ailment. If you could, then I would have tried to pay off cancer 7 years ago, but I couldn't. I had to just go through the treatment, and I had to go through everything that it entailed. And to me, this is what he is kind of contending with now. He's saying, I'm so rich, I have billions of dollars. Why can't I not buy myself health? Why can't I not buy myself a few more years on this plane of existence? Why? Why? And this is the underarching energy. This is what's going on under everything. Is why he's asking himself. He's raising money to get into heaven, and he's going, why can't I just, pay this off? Why can't I just do it? In the immediate past, we have the Eight of Swords, sorry, Eight of Swords, where you have self-inflicted issues. And this is his self-inflicted health issues. He does not take care of himself. He drinks dozens of Diet Cokes and eats all the McDonald's that he wants, and et cetera, et cetera. And the thing is, you can't live on that stuff. Maybe once in a while go and splurge and have a burger or something, but every single day, and then drinking, like, instead of water, drinking Diet Coke, doesn't work. The body needs certain things. It needs certain nutrients in order for people to survive. And when you fill it full of junk, that is what you're going to get is junk. And it's going to be self-inflicted. And that's exactly what this card says. You have created this problem for yourself, and now you have to live with it. The overarching energy is the Death card. And that says, and this is not just the physical, this is also spiritual. You've got a guy who thinks that he can buy his way into heaven. This reminds me of the episode of Touched by an Angel. I don't know if you've ever watched that show. I used to love that show. And there was an episode of it. It was called Into the Light. And David Marciano was in it. And he was very, very good. He played a con man. And his philosophy was you can't con a con. And he has a near-death experience. And instead of being embraced by the light, he is seeing the light in a distance. And it is as though he has done so much wrong in the world that he is trying to earn his way into heaven. And I think this is kind of coincides with what the Big Fat Orange Problem is now trying to do. He is trying to buy his way, purchase his way into heaven, but not understanding fully what it's really about. So in the episode, what the guy did was he started doing good deeds. He would, help people around the hospital. He would take them, take them on walks and things like that, and he would read stories and things like that. And the thing is, he was doing all of these good deeds, but it was all for the wrong reason. And then he would write notations about having done these good deeds because he wants to get into heaven. And basically what happened is he had to recognize that you can con only so many people in your life, and you can bring about so much disharmony in your life, but eventually karma is going to get its due. And what is happening with the Big Fat Orange Problem now is I think he's starting to recognize that he can't buy his way into heaven. And what he is doing, and somebody actually made mention of this, they said, if he wants to really try and earn his way into heaven, maybe what he needs to do is do the good, give the money to the poor, do for others as opposed to just for himself and his rich friends. But the problem is, because he's 79 years old, the likelihood of him ever doing that is probably next to slim to none, because he has grown from his life believing that helping people is for suckers and doing what's right is for losers. And now he's faced with this. This is for entertainment only, but this is what he's faced with. This is overarching energy. This is what is overarching everything, is this, the mortality, the human mortality. And just like with the guy in the episode of Touched by an Angel, where he tried to do deeds that would earn him the passage into heaven, he had to learn that it's not about doing good deeds. It's about reaching up and reaching out, and not only doing good deeds to help other people, but doing the good deeds because deep down inside, on a really spiritual level, people know that it's right, that it's the right thing to do. And so that's what we're kind of dealing with. And now we've got this hanging over him, and he's scared. In the immediate future, we have the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles is, this is a studious academic type of person. And maybe this is the person who's going to actually have to tell him that asking for money to fill one's coffers is not going to get them into heaven or what have you. But in the immediate future, you have this Page, who is generally a smart, studious individual. And maybe this is the personification of the present vice president, who's going to be stepping up and into a new role, if at all, because I don't think he's going to become president, but that's just me. I don't think Just Dance is going to get in, but I don't know. Could be. How he sees themselves is the Three of Wands, and this is, your ship is either departing or it's coming in, and it's a choice as to whether or not that ship is going to come in. I think that in the sense, I think he sees that this is the possibility that he's facing, that his ship may be departing soon, and he has to try and figure out how he's going to contend with it. How others see you, the Four of Pentacles. People see him as the hoarder. They see him as the one who's saying, mine, 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 mine. This is all mine, and no, you can't have it. The sort of Daffy Duck personification. If you've ever seen the episode where Daffy Duck is like, he's trying to catch Tasmanian Devil, and at the very end of the episode, Tasmanian Devil grabs one of the dollar bills that he gets as a reward for capturing him. And he runs in and he beats up the Tasmanian Devil, and he comes out and he's holding the dollar bill like, this is mine. He says, I may be a coward, but I'm a greedy coward, is what he says. And that's kind of the personification of the Four of Pentacles. That is the hoarder. That is the person who wants everything for themselves, and they don't care about anybody else. So letting go of that idea or that notion is not easy, will not come easy for this guy, because he is so used to grabbing and holding on to everything for himself. And this is what people see. They see this greedy, miser, Scrooge-like personality who's holding everything for himself, and he doesn't give two S's about anybody else. He does not care. And anybody that comes on this channel and says, oh, Trump cares about us, Trump cares about us, I would say, no, he does not. He does not care about anyone but himself. And anybody who says that this guy is caring about other people, they are fooling themselves. Because this guy does not, this card is absolutely adamant, this guy does not care about anybody but himself. And that is the tragedy of the whole thing. And that is all I'm going to say about it. And I can't believe I said his name, because I wouldn't usually not say his name. But he is the Four of Pentacles. That is him in person. He is that greedy person who grabs everything for himself, and he doesn't care about anybody else. Hopes and Fears is the King of Wands. And this is the he hopes that people will remember him in the way of someone who's confident and kind, and, or I don't even want to say kind, but strong. He wants people to see him in the light of strength. He wants people to see him as someone who's strong and assured and can do everything. And this is what he hopes, that his legacy will not be marred by all of the things that are going on, because right now there's a lot of stuff going on. And he hopes that his legacy will not be marred by all of these things that are going on. Final outcome is the Nine of Cups. And I think that's us. When he is finally no longer in power, we are holding up a cut toast and we're saying thank you that he's no longer in power and that this is now behind us. So, you know, sometimes people want to be liked and they will do whatever they can to be liked, and they will lie to themselves in order to think that they will be liked. But the truth of the matter is people will feel more celebratory than anything else when he exits. And that's what the cards are saying, is that even if you do not even if you do not even if you do not if you do not say you hope or you wish or what have you. Did I turn these wrong again? Yes, I did. But even if you are coming in and you're saying that 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 this person is, special or good or kind or what have you, it's like, try to convince me of this. And I think that that's what a lot of people are. That's where a lot of people are right now. They're saying, convince me of this. Try to convince me that this individual is a good person. Because as it stands right now, that'll turn everything around. Um, um, if you try to convince me that this person has any redeeming qualities, I'd probably laugh in your face. Because quite honestly, I don't see any redeeming qualities in this person. I do not. And will I be happy when he's no longer in power? You bet I will be. Because I see a lot of people who have been hurt by him. And I've seen a lot of people who have suffered because of him. And the fact that this guy is trying to raise money because he's trying to buy his way into heaven is absolutely the most laughable thing I've ever seen. Because he is not the epitome of goodness or kindness. What he's the epitome of is pure unadulterated evil. And what I see when I look at him is a weak man. A weak man who is the energy of the Four of Pentacles, the hoarder, the one who wants everything for himself. But he doesn't realize that what he's doing is, every time I pull the Two of Cups when I do a reading on him, the thought that comes into my mind is that he is uniting people against himself. That is what he's doing. He is uniting everybody against him. And that's got to be the most horrific feeling in the whole world, for somebody to be so loathed that people will celebrate their demise. So, what can I say? Is he going to show up next week to, is he going to show up next week sometime? Let's just see. Is the big fat orange problem going to show up next week somewhere? Is he going to make a public appearance next week? Is he going to show up next week somewhere, make a public appearance? Is he going to make a public appearance next week? Yes, he will. Okay. Is he going to tell people what's up? Is he going to tell people the truth about his health? Is he going to tell the truth about his health? Is he going to tell the truth about his health? Well, that'll be news to everybody. I don't see it happening, but I'm always welcoming for a good surprise. So that's what the cards have told me. But at any rate, there you go. So I don't know. I can't tell you what's going to happen. I'm maybe good, but I'm not that good. But I can tell you that something is going on. And if anything else, this is just my opinion about everything that's happening. And maybe this isn't so much about pulling cards um and actually saying that this is what's going on. Maybe it's just me feeling like the people are being left in the dark about what's really happening because nobody has the guts to be honest with the people about the leader of the country. And until the day comes when he has the courage to come out and say that he is sick, then we're going to be living in this land of uncertainty about whether or not the President of the United States is healthy, if he's leading the country, and if he's competent enough to lead a country. Um, I have a degree in Russian studies. And when I was taking Russian history, I studied about Joseph Stalin, who was a monster. He was historically a monster. He forced collective farming in Ukraine. He created a man-made famine in Ukraine. He did all kinds of really awful, terrible things to his own people. And when he passed, the people that were around him were so terrified of him that he lay unalived for 3 days before somebody had the courage to go and check on him. Because the people that were around him knew that he was a real bear when he was awakened. So instead of going and seeing about his well-being, the people waited and they did not go to check on him until 3 days after he had passed. And that was something that I never forgot in since, in all the years since I had studied Russian history and having, gotten a degree in Russian studies. But this is what I think is happening with the big fat orange problem. I think he's got people so scared that he could be incapacitated for an extended period of time, and nobody in his inner circle would know what to do about it because he is such a scary personality, such a scary figure. And this is why I think it is imperative for leaders of countries to go through a medical exam and to have the voters know and understand the health issues of the person they want to put into as a position of authority. This is what I think. Now, it may be kind of naive of me to think that people should have a right to know this information. But when you're running for the presidency of the United States of America and you have health issues and you are only saying that it's my opponent who has the health issues and it's the other people that have the health issues, then something's not right. Something is clearly not right. And now you've got a bunch of incompetent idiots running the government in the US, and they're asking themselves why other countries don't want to have anything to do with them. The guy who's like running the Health and Human Services Department, this guy is the biggest quack I have ever seen in my life, and he doesn't even have a medical degree. And yet he is running a department in the US. The guy is a nut job. He is an absolute incompetent. But that's who the big fat orange problem surrounds themselves with. A bunch of people who have no idea what the hell they're doing. I don't even need to pull tarot cards on these people because they're all a bunch of bleaking incompetents. And I'm just like, I'm living in Germany and I'm looking at this from outside of the US. So I cannot even begin to imagine how it is for the people who live in the US having to contend with all of this. And I heard that the European Medical Association have actually put out actual medical facts and have made them available to people in the US because their own government in the US is not doing anything about releasing information. That's what I heard. Don't know if it's true. I mean, if I'm wrong about any of this stuff, please correct me in the comments below. But I think something is seriously wrong. The energy just feels all over the place right now. And what I'm getting is just this sense that people are just being left in the dark for no good reason whatsoever. And I think it's really a pity. So that's my thoughts on all of that. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now. So the only thing you can do is just keep your head above water and take care of yourself and stay safe, stay well. And I will be back soon with more polls, more tarot cards. If you have any questions that you want me to address to practice with the cards, drop them in the comments below because I'm out of ideas. I don't know what else to read on. I'll try and do a read like later this week for next week. But at this point, I am really at a loss. And I thank you for listening to me vent my frustrations about all of this. And I hope that you have a great day. Take care. And as always, namaste.